On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya. Here. Councilmember Calandrillo. Here. Councilmember Erin Delaney. Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Here.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Here.
Okay, we have 4 ayes and 1 absent. That means a quorum is present for this regular meeting of the Garfield City Council, which is being held today, which is Tuesday, June 11th, 2019. This regular meeting is being held in accordance with provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice has been provided by mail, facsimile, and email to the official city newspapers and to other interested parties, and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin boards in City Hall. If everyone would please rise, we'd like to begin with the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please remain standing. On behalf of the mayor and council, I would like to announce the passing of Father Edward Speak of St. Stanislaus Kostka Roman Catholic Church. Father Ed spent 52 years as a priest. 28 of those years he spent in the city of Garfield. He was a faithful pastor to his people, and he was a faithful pastor to the community. He assisted us as our fire department chaplain for many, many years, and also served as our police department chaplain. He was a wonderful man. He was warm, he was friendly, he was humble. He's a gentleman that we owe a debt to. He served the city for free for many, many years, and we will miss him. So with that, I would ask Mr. Mayor for a moment of silence in memory of Father Ed Speak. Thank you.
I have no idea.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, I would just like to report that I've received correspondence from the Garfield Superintendent of Schools, Ms. Anna Siaka, in which she has made an appointment to the Library Board of Trustees. She has appointed Ms. Marie Marks as an ex officio member to serve whenever the superintendent is not in attendance. At this time, is there a motion to approve the minutes of the meetings to and including May 28, 2019?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Aloya, seconded by Councilmember Joseph Delaney. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Erin Delaney. Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes, 1 absent. Is there a motion to approve the reports of the cabinet as presented orally and in writing during the work session held earlier this evening?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Joseph Delaney, seconded by Councilmember Aloya. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Erin Delaney. Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes, 1 absent. Mr. Members of the City Council, the very first resolution we are going to hold, resolutions number 172 to and including number 180 have 4 signatures on them, so if there's no objection, I will take 1 roll call vote on all those resolutions. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Erin Delaney. Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes, 1 absent. Okay, we have a resolution which reads as follows: whereas a cable TV feed line for a public access television channel for Cablevision has been in existence for many years at Garfield High School, and whereas the mayor and council also desire a cable TV feed line to be run to City Hall so as not to be dependent on the Garfield school system, and whereas such a line has been proposed at a one-time estimated cost to the city of $10,412 by Cablevision, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Garfield, Bergen County, New Jersey, that a cable TV feed line for public access, including the area of City Council meetings and other related TV equipment are hereby authorized to be obtained at an estimated cost of $10,412. The resolution is signed by council members Calandrillo and Aloya. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Yes, I had, for those of you that are not sure what this is about, we have a feed downstairs for Verizon. So everyone that subscribes to Verizon gets our meetings on Channel 46. If you have Cablevision, which the subscription is actually, seems to be, based on the numbers that I'm going to give you, seems to be more of the town actually subscribes to Cablevision. So it's been my goal. Originally, Mayor Raymond started having our meetings filmed, and they were on Cablevision. We've not had these meetings on since the high schools was not able to allow us, they don't allow us to use their feed. And with that, I've been lobbying, I've been sending numerous emails to Mr. Dutch, and Mr. Dutch is working on getting a price to do this. Now, the price is $10,400, one-time fee. We will have our feed downstairs, and everyone will get the meetings. If you subscribe to Verizon, Cablevision, everyone will get the meetings. We have a great film crew here. They're very reasonable, and they're doing it efficiently. You can understand what's being set up here, and they're very reliable. So we finally got the system down. So I'm asking for this resolution to be voted on, the $10,400. Now, it seems like a lot of money, but let me just tell you, in the last 3 years, I asked our CFO, how much money have we paid or received, actually the city received, on cable franchise fees? We have received almost $900,000 between Cablevision paying the city and Verizon paying the city. So then my next question to Roy was basically, what are we doing with these funds? And they go into our budget, and in general, they go into our surplus. So I'm asking, and that's only for the last 3 years. So if you take those numbers and you multiply them times 10 years, we've gotten a significant amount of money from the cable, which is good. It's not my money, it's your money. So for $10,400, we could be very transparent. Everyone will get these meetings, not just Verizon, and I think it's the right thing to do. I have nothing to hide up here. I think everything we vote on is for the good of the public, and it should be, whether we vote the right way, the wrong way, it's up to the people to see it, and they should see it. So I'm voting aye, and it's, and the numbers, if anybody wants to see them, I have them here. And they're not my numbers. They're our CFO, Roy Rigatano. He's the one that did the numbers and gave me this information. So I vote aye.
Councilmember Erin Delaney, Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Okay, when we first got elected 3 years ago, we had all our meetings on Cablevision. All our meetings were done for free, without charge. The city did not pay a penny for it. And then we had council members request that we get a camera crew in here. We have to pay the camera crew. Then we have to pay files. And all these other charges are coming up. When in the beginning, it didn't cost us a penny, and we were on Cablevision. So now, not knowing that we weren't going to be on Cablevision, we hired a television crew, we hired files, and not only that, we're spending $1,000 on that now. We're also spending thousands of dollars on the social media. So it's not like it's just $10,000. We're spending a lot of money right now recording the meetings. And anyone can get the meeting, anyone could go on Fios or could go on a computer and watch the meetings. This is the first time ever that we have been as transparent as we are. And Councilwoman Erin Delaney was the one person who did push for transparency with the meetings, with Facebook and with our webpage. So I'm not in favor of voting without her sitting here right now for this. So with that, I'm going to abstain.
Mayor Rigoloso.
you know, Councilman Calandrell is only telling you maybe half the story, not the whole story. First of all, he's hiding that $900,000 surplus, because that's the first I heard about it. We've been back there for about an hour and a half in closed session, and Councilman Calandrell just brings that up. It's the first I ever heard about a $900,000 surplus from our CFO. So I'd like to see those numbers and talk to him personally myself, because I don't know what that all is about.
Mayor, here it is.
All right, thank you. I'll look at it another
It's
time.
an email from Roy.
Yeah, oh, well, we had an hour and a half back there to talk about it.
And
But now you bring up, I'm on, I'm sorry. I'm on, all right? So, in the last 3 years, we've been, you know, we weren't here 3 years ago, but they had this opportunity to have it on Cablevision and Files. But they had it on Cablevision because it was free by the high school. Councilman Calandrell didn't like the way Cablevision was being run because you couldn't hear it, or they weren't operating in the summer because they're students. So he had them removed. He had them removed for Files. Files comes in, but now Cablevision's out. He finds out there's only 5 people in the whole city of Garfield that has Files. Now he wants Cablevision back at a cost. We had the opportunity, and he didn't take that opportunity back 3 years ago. Well, and the other mayor was sitting up here. With that, I vote no.
Okay, we have 2 ayes, 1 nay, 1 abstention, 1 absent. The resolution does not pass. We have a resolution which is a capital budget amendment. It's in connection with the bond ordinances that we're going to be acting upon later. The capital budget amendment is signed by council members Joseph Delaney and Rigoloso. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya,
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
I'm sorry, Drew, which,
It's the capital budget amendment. It's the ministerial item we have to pass.
I'm voting, I'm abstaining.
Okay. Councilmember Aaron Delaney, Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney, Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 3 ayes, 1 abstention, 1 absent. The resolution passes. Bills and claims, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, please.
Okay, resolved by the City Council of the City of Garfield that the following current reserve bills totaling $2,149.15 and the current fund totaling $271,322.99 and the water fund totaling $10,646.62 and the general capital fund totaling $862,804.71 per attached computer list be ordered paid, and the proper officers are hereby authorized to issue checks for same, provided there are funds in the respective appropriations. Be it further resolved that the action of the mayor, city clerk, and city treasurer in issuing checks and payment on a ratification list, which includes 19 items prior to the meeting, be ratified. Bills and claims resolution is offered by all the council members present. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney. Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes, 1 absent. Bills and claims are approved. Ordinances, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, please.
Okay. The following entitled ordinance was introduced at a meeting held on May 28, 2019. It was duly published. Copies were posted on the bulletin board in City Hall. Copies were made available to the general public. And having complied with the law, this ordinance was not read in full, and the city council can now proceed with the public hearing and final passage. Bond ordinance to authorize the 2019 road improvement program and barrier-free ADA improvements to City Hall in, by, and for the city of Garfield in the county of Bergen, state of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $700,000 to pay the costs thereof, to make a down payment, to appropriate federal grants, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
On this ordinance and this ordinance only, would anybody like to come up and talk? I see no hands. Drew?
Okay. On second reading. Councilmember Aloya.
Mr. Pavlicka, at the last meeting, we discussed having a read copy of ordinances here. Do we have that?
We do not?
Could we please have it for the next meeting?
Sure.
Thank you. I vote aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney. Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes, 1 absent. The ordinance is adopted. The following entitled ordinance was introduced at a meeting held on May 28, 2019. It was duly published. Copy was posted on the bulletin boards in City Hall. Copies were made available to the general public. And having complied with the law, this ordinance was not read in full, and the City Council can now proceed with the public hearing and final passage. Bond ordinance to authorize the undertaking of various improvements to Grand Street from Peary Avenue to River Drive in, by, and for the City of Garfield in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $900,000 to pay the cost thereof, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
For this ordinance and this ordinance only. Anybody like to come up and speak? I see no hands. Drew?
Okay, on second reading, Councilmember Aloya.
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney. Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Kevin, for the public's knowledge, are we getting money back from this to do Grand Street?
Grand Street, we have two NJDOT grants that total $450,000, and will offset 50% of this project.
In other words, the project's approximately $900,000. Half of it's going to be paid by DOT, and if you know Grand Street, they have the old slate still sidewalks.
Yeah,
Am I correct?
slate curbs and original sidewalks, yeah.
So what we're doing is improving Grand Street, sidewalks, curbs, and the street.
And we're replacing lead water services and the water main as well.
So at half of what it would cost because of a grant that the city received from the state. I vote aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes, 1 absent. The ordinance is adopted. Hold on there. Oh, yeah, the introduction. On introduction, we have bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new additional or replacement equipment and machinery and a new automotive vehicle, including original apparatus and equipment in, by, and for the water utility of the City of Garfield in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $750,000 to pay the cost thereof, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. This resolution is not even signed.
It's not even signed.
Yeah, sure. We need 2 signatures at least.
Wait till it gets signed.
Really want to sign?
We'll vote on it.
Okay, the ordinance is introduced by council members. We have Mayor Rigoloso and Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney. On the roll call on introduction, on first reading, Councilmember Aloya.
On introduction, aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney. Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes, 1 absent. The ordinance passes on first reading, and that concludes all written items for voting at this time. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. We don't, there's no signatures, we
Oh,
don't have.
that's right. I'm sorry. Okay, at this time, we'll open up for citizens and taxpayers. When you come up, just please state your name and address, and you would have 3 minutes. Anybody would like to come on up?
My name is Joe Bennett, 28 West Garfield. I'm just so upset. I can't believe this issue with the cable. Mr. Dutch got the free line for Verizon, and Verizon people are able to see the video. And I asked him about the optimum cable, and he said he was going to look into it. Then he came back and said it was going to be $10,000 to put it in. And I kind of got the feeling at the work session when we heard that price that, wow, that's way too much. So I called Marilyn Davis. I spoke with her myself. I said, why is it so much money? Is there something you could do about it? I don't know why I thought to say that myself, but I did. I said, is there something you could do about the price? And she came back to me. I said, or can you move it? And she came back to me and said, no, I can't do anything about the price. To move the feed would be just as much money. The real issue, and I know you all have your suggestions, but I'm really upset about this. This is really unbelievable. The real issue is that the high school won't let us use that fee. And the mayor is, you're a principal of the middle school, you're in on, the school system. I really can't understand why the high school will not allow us to use that fee belongs to the city of Garfield. That part I really can't get. Then Miss Marilyn Davis called me back, said it's going to be voted on. And she said, do you know, Optimum pays Garfield on January 26th every year. Garfield gets a franchise fee check. She said, find out what they're doing with that money. I said, well, I wrote down exactly what she said. She said, they're getting 3.5% of your subscription that we pay on our bill, which I see it every time, franchise fee. I didn't know what that was for, now I do. Everybody who has FiOS or Optimum is paying 3.5% of our bill, gets sent to Garfield. And I don't have the ability to watch it on Optimum, which I have, and I pay my bill. Yes, a lot of people do have a computer, but not everyone has a computer. Didn't we learn that when we had the issue with the tickets, the new ticket system? A lot of people didn't have computers, and we had to help them with that. A lot of people out there are paying their cable bill, do not have a computer. You're actually telling them, go buy a computer, learn how to use it so you can watch on the computer. There's still that group of citizens that is not getting. I can't believe that you voted no on this. I really can't believe it. With the amount of money, the checks in 2.5 years, it's $939,000. That's just under $1 million, and that's only in 2.5 years. That Garfield receives, that's our money, our subscription money. I'm shocked. I'm really just at a loss of words. Also, I noticed, why didn't you have the vote on the ordinance about the development in Garfield? I'm sure we'll have other ordinances on the paperwork.
Yeah, we spoke about it, but we didn't see the ordinance.
It's on your
Yeah, no,
agenda.
I know where it is,
Well, what do you-
but no one signed it.
Oh, no,
It's been tabled.
All right. I'm sure there'll be plenty of time to discuss it. I just want to have faith that you're going to make the right decision on this development. When the developer says what they want to do, it sounds like they're calling all the shots. Once they build what they want to build and they leave, we're left with it. There's also the issue of a school 1 block away with a possible 210 more residents and 105 more cars that might create an impact on that area. And there's an elementary school 1 block away. I think it's great, we need to put something on Passaic Street, we need to do something to help the economy on Passaic Street. But I think that 7, and they said 7 stories at the redevelopment meeting. We asked twice, they said it's going to be 7 stories. Tonight I heard 6. But picture that building, Mr. Jesus 3 stories, picture that building 7 or 6 stories high. I just can't, that little too big and too dense. Wallington's development on Patterson Plank Road, I know it's another town, they're building on 2 acres. They built their apartments on 2 acres. They built 58 apartments. Garfield on 1/2 acre is building 105 units. There's something to think about. It's very, and they're getting 2.5 parking spaces, where Garfield, those apartments are getting 1 parking space. I guess they appreciate the use of a park. In Garfield, they're not going to be buying cars.
Thank you, Joan. Dolores?
Dolores Capizzi, 107 Midland. Excuse me. I have 2 things. First of all, the repaving that was done in our neighborhood, I don't know if you're aware of it, but there were quite a few parking spaces taken away. If somebody could look into that, because the parking spaces that were there were legal parking spaces, and if they are going to be removed, then basically what you're doing is, for the residents that are left, you're making it more difficult for those people to be able to live in those areas if they have tenants. So if you could just check that, please. As
Did
far-
they, I'm sorry, did they paint curbs yellow?
No, they just put all they did was put yellow lines all over the place, on the street, not the curbs. It's on the street. It could be a mistake, but I think it was Marcella's place, in front of 107, by the church. They
Okay,
had parking there allowed during services. They took that away.
okay.
And that's, I believe they took spaces on Atlantic, Hepworth, but I definitely know of Marcellus also.
What's your address again, Dolores?
107.
107.
So if you could just check, it might be a mistake,
Okay,
okay?
yep.
The other thing is, according to the governor's plan, redevelopment is to empower community-based neighborhood change. We need it bad. But it's supposed to be community-based, not developer-based. I would like to know from Mr. Aloya and Mr. Calandrillo, since you are all elected members of the council, have you previewed or discussed this project with the rest of the council, redevelopment, or planning boards?
They'll answer the question after
Okay,
everybody's done.
that's fine. 2, I'd like to know when this project was presented to the community for input and concerns. And I'd like to know how the zoning board responded to the height. And I would also like to know what the landscape of Passaic Street is going to look like with this proposed project, because if you go to Woodridge, it looks like garage ghetto. We do not need that here. We are a very pretty town in the Appalachian foothills, and we need to preserve that. I went to Woodridge. It's disgusting. Our Passaic Street should not look like that. So if we're gonna do this, let's do it right. And let's make sure that the people who live in that area know that they are going to have monstrosities over their properties. And I cannot even fathom the fact that that will increase the value of their property. Thank you.
Thank you, Doris. Anybody else would like to come up and speak? Mr. Dennistra.
Mike Dennis Strand, 104 Palisade Ave. I'd like to add to Joan's information here. I'm a senior citizen at 74 years old, and I just had a little dispute with Optimum about my billing, and I just noticed my bill went from $3 and some change to $4.17 for that franchise fee. So I'm paying right along. I don't have a computer. I'm not involved in social media, but yet I'm paying for it. I'm not getting no service from the city to see this. And then there's other senior citizens just like me that are paying for that and not getting the information from the city to know what's going on. They'd like to know what's going on beside me. And another thing too, I spent time building this chart right here. The citizens of Garfield, Passaic Street area. We don't want to see 6-story buildings in our neighborhood. There's a lot of people right here that agree with me. And the reason why our schools are maxed out, our parking is a major problem. Our railroad trestle is a bottleneck over there for traffic. And what about the quality of life? People got to see the building, they actually get the sun coming over their house. They're not going to see the sun. They'll block their sunlight. All for tax dollars. And what about the parking? This is Spencer Place. Anybody go down Spencer Place at night? You can't park down there at night. There's so many cars down there. You're going to add to that too? Where are these people going to park? Going to put them on a roof? You might add another story for parking up there. So, I mean, think about what you're doing. You're changing the quality of life, the whole neighborhood. I know, Mr. Dutch, you live in Whitebrook. I don't see any six-story buildings in your neighborhood. You got a beautiful town here. I love your recycle center too. It's a lot better than Garfield. I mean, you're open all day, by the way. On, like Saturday, you're open from 9 o'clock in the morning to 3. Now you got 2 days. You added for Tuesday night or whatever. I know that they added an additional night. But I'm just saying, this is gonna change the quality of life in our neighborhood. I mean, people, the idea you had, you're looking for ratables, this is not the way to go, not up Passaic Street. You know, and plus we want input, citizens want input. You just don't make a decision right like this. This is a big decision right here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to come up and speak? I see no hands at this time. I'll open up to council comments. Councilman Lawyer.
Oh, thank you very much. Mike, that's the first plan I've seen. That answer your question? Thank you for drawing it. Thank you, Mike. Now I know what it is we're talking about. The issue of any redevelopment, we should be notifying them, the citizens that are there, so they come and they have input. There's no question about that. What comes of it was, I guess, about a 30-minute presentation that we heard tonight from the developer, from the planner. And very intelligent man, very nice, didn't give us any paperwork or leave us with any drawings, etchings, or programs of what it would possibly be. So Mike, thank you for drawing it up for us. With regard to the Cablevision, that unfortunately is a more pressing issue at the very moment. About 15 years ago, no, more than that, I guess it's almost 19 years ago, Cablevision had to renegotiate with the city of Garfield. We hired the attorney Emil Kuchia to represent us in the negotiations. They don't give you money, they don't give you anything. The franchise fee is the set fee, that's how the city benefits, that's how we get our money from them. But in the negotiations, it was discussed, where would we have cable? They offered us in the firehouses that they would supply them with cable. The police department, City Hall. The cable fee that was put in the high school was part of those negotiations. That because of the activities that go on at the school on a regular basis, all of their social events, all of their programs, all of the things that they do, that was why the cable company put it in free of charge, or part of the negotiation, say it how you want, 19 years ago. And if you remember, when we ran in 2000, we were all interviewed on cable, and it was aired throughout the entire town in our election back in 2000. So that was why it was put there at the high school. I think that at this point in time, 19 years later, we are at a different point. We're at a point now where people need to communicate, that they're not newspapers, as good as they are. Sometimes we go to our phone, we go to our computer, we go to our TV to get more news. Without question, $10,000, what Frank Calandrillo is proposing, is such an inexpensive price for knowledge. There's no question that the people should know what's going on as easy as we can get it to them. And it also makes it easier for everyone here at City Hall, because the city manager and his staff can take the video, walk downstairs, plug it in, and the entire city knows about it. I think we call you and we tell you about social events. The mayor could actually do commercials and send them out. So I think there's an actual benefit to them, for the mayor, for the council, for the city manager, for emergencies, for problems that occur, for overall knowledge, for special events that the city is now doing. We spend a lot of money on these special events. It'd be nice to let everyone know. I think the $10,000 that's been proposed is an inexpensive price for knowledge. In no way should be voted against tonight or any other night. So hopefully we can put that on the floor again for reconsideration by the council. Mayor, thank you for the time to speak.
Thank you. Councilman Calandrillo.
Okay, the first issue I want to talk about is the plan or the redevelopment plan that we heard. I have great concerns with the density. Look, we all want to progress. The city of Garfield is a blue-collar town with a great history of people who have built this city to what it is today. A lot of immigrants from years ago to present. Now, I want to see Passaic Street thriving. You know, on the other end, where the Walmart is, I was there Saturday, you couldn't find a parking spot. It's a great fit for the town. Now, my concern is, I know the old bank building, I know the Garfield Auditorium, and if you put 105 units into those buildings, and it was said by the planner, the upside, actually the rents are going to be north of, meaning more than, $2,000 a month for a 700 square foot apartment. That's good. If you're working in New York, you're a commuter, that's probably small change. But what I'm concerned about is the fact that it's over congesting. If I have one parking spot and I am married, the chances of me only having one car, because husband and wife, I know, and they use the excuse, they catch the train, they go to work. Granted. But I have a lot of, and they use the word millennials. Millennials don't drive. Millennials use Uber. Guess what? I have millennials on my block, and I see them all with cars. So we can't bank on that. What we have to do is be practical. You know, and I asked, where did we get a number like 105? And Mr. Benicki, he's very, very intelligent man, knows his business. But I worry about the residents. I'm not worried about a developer. And 105 units, and then if you take that as the standard, and you move it down Passaic Street, and you move it down River Road, where are we going? This change is good, sometimes, if you make the right decisions. It's got to be the right decisions. You know, the redevelopment, we put almost 290 units on the Garden State paper site. But they have approximately 14 acres, and we had no other choice because we could not get another paper mill to come in because they're all operating in Canada. They can't take the expenses of what Jersey offers, or even the United States. So the bottom line is, we tried to revive that mill. We had no other options. We had to go residential. If you pass there, it's something to be proud of. But to take 105 units and put it on less than a half of an acre, and they say, okay, well, one spot. So where do your visitors park? Where do your guests park? You have a birthday party, you have 3, 4 relatives coming. How do they get there, and where do they go? Everything that I've seen there, except for maybe 4 or 5 spots alongside Monsignor's Church, there's really nothing there. You know, Spencer Place doesn't have parking. People call all the time. And my question to him is, can they do it with less density? And he said, well, that's what they have to do to make money, you know. Well, guess what? I can't support it. I'm not going to support it because I know where this is going. And just to say we developed, we built apartments, I have relatives in Harrison. And they say with all those units that they put in there, just to travel down the main street takes forever. And you know what? I worry about Garfield. I worry about the future of Garfield. I worry about what's going on now. So I will never support 105 units. Should they want to come with a reasonable number, then I will think about it. And I'll most likely, if it's fair, good for the town, then I'll support it. I asked the planner, if it went to the zoning board, how many would the zoning board be allowed to give them? He said between 25 to 30, 35. But I just know that on a little more than a half an acre, they just gave 20 units. So that's the difference. 105
compared to something that was just recently done, more than a half an acre, which was only 20 units. So, you know what? I want smart development. I don't want to just rush it to get it in. You know, everybody likes a badge to show off, but the point is, the future is with the development that goes in, and once it's over congested, once there's no parking, you're not going back. There's no turning back time. So that's my position on that. And as far as the filming of the meetings, you know what? If I sat a 13-year-old and said, look, we're bringing in just under $1 million from residents' money for cable, but we want the whole town to be able to view it, like some of the people are being able to view it, but it's going to cost us $10,000. I would bet that 13-year-old can make the right decision and say, spend the money, and where is the price of transparency? Isn't transparency the most important thing in government? You know, we make a mistake. Hey, I've made mistakes in my 23 years, but I'm not trying to hide anything, you know, and that's the point. Mayor, I'm asking you, as the mayor, please, let's revisit that tonight. Let's do another vote on it, because it's really the right thing to do. I don't care what you, like, you know, if Calandrillo puts something up, guess what? If you're a betting person, it's gonna fail. But this is something, and I did not remove high school students from filming the meeting. There was a vote of the council to hire this new company. This is a company that put in a bid. They were the lowest price. Very reasonable, I must say. I believe it's $50 an hour, all right? 2 meetings a month, to a budget that is $35 million, all right? That's our budget. That's our annual budget. But now we have the money. We know it's in a franchise fee. And to be honest with you, I always knew we had franchise fees, never realized it was that high. And Joan, I thank you for doing your research. And it's not a matter of if I brought it up in a work session or not. It's the simplicity of just doing the right thing, being transparent. Give the Cablevision viewers what they pay for. Why should they be denied when Verizon gets it? It doesn't make any sense, and the ridiculous excuses, it's beyond speech. You know, and in that, you know, when we started making this decision to film, and which, by the way, the guys that are filming now, they applied on their own. They actually did Mr. Dutch's commercials when he ran for assembly. Mr. Dutch never promoted him, never asked us to hire him. They did that basically on their own, and they do an incredible job. The meetings are legible. The meetings are all year round, not just, you know, the months that school's open. And I asked the mayor to please, before this transpired, let's get the high school to do this. Let them they should allow us to use their feed as they have in the past. But because someone who was higher than them didn't get the job, that's the reason why. But that has nothing to do with, Joan, you're right. We own that cable feed as taxpayers. That's our decision, not any politician's decision. No, you're not, it's not going to happen. So I did not remove anybody. It was a vote. And Mayor, to refresh your memory, the first time you voted to hire these guys. It went down 2-2 because Erin Delaney wasn't ready to vote on it until we had her new website. So it went down, and then the second time, she voted to hire this company, but you voted against it. So they're playing the games up here, all right? But please, put aside that it's from me. Pretend that you recommended it, and please vote for it, because you're not hurting me. Listen, I'll watch the meetings online. I'll do whatever I have to do. Plus, I'm here. I know what goes on. But the right thing to do is to do it. And if we're going to talk about the website and social media, Mayor, I need that paper back, please, for a second. You know, in a concentrated effort to be more transparent, to have a better website, it was recommended that we change our website from QSend to AlphaDog. It was asked for by our councilwoman, and we basically agreed because with the idea of being more transparent, having a better website. But the cost, just so if we're going to talk about $10,000, we used to pay $23.28 in 2018. Now with this new company, AlphaDog, it's going to be $57.65 and $1,890 a month. So we're going from $2,300 to $28,000. So if we're going to talk dollars and cents, why aren't you talking dollars and cents about that? Our city manager was satisfied with that website by QSend. He said he got comments from other municipalities that actually thought it was good. But in the spirit of trying to get this done, I even supported going with this new website. But the point is, we're not doing the fair thing to the public here. We're not fair to the public. We got to be transparent. We are elected officials. And it's shameful that you would not support this, Mr. Delaney and Mr. Rigoloso. And with that, excuse me, I get a little worked up here. It's just the right thing to do. All right. So, Mayor, we could change this whole thing. Let's put it back up for the vote. Let's just get it done so the whole town could see what we do up here as officials that they elect. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor.
All right. First and foremost, I voted against getting rid of Cablevision. I was satisfied with what Cablevision was giving us. I was satisfied that the kids from the high school who were donating their time, not charging the city one dime, who was actually enjoying the fact that they were giving back to the city. If you would have seen the kid's face, the young man's face who was taping the meetings, you would be realizing exactly what I'm saying, why I voted against getting rid of that. He was a great student, a high school kid, and the council voted to get rid of him. Easy as that. And we had Cablevision. We didn't have Verizon. I voted against it, and that's why I don't know why we left them in the first place. So I don't know really what we're doing. The same reason with the Facebook page, with the web page, that I believe was a 2-year contract, Tom, which we could revisit anytime we want. If the company isn't good, then we get rid of them.
Yes.
Easy as that. But I know Councilwoman Delaney was the one who was really for the social media. But I was always for transparency. I want to repeat myself again. The transparency from this council has never been like this since I served on the city council. Never been as free of giving up all our information. And that's a fact, because we haven't been taped. I'm going to cut this short. First of all, and Joan, I don't know why you didn't come up and complain when we voted against getting rid of Cablevision at the time. Joan, it's not a question, Joan, but you didn't. You knew we were getting rid of Cablevision at the time, and not one person came up to complain about that. So that wasn't that long ago, but that's the truth. When we voted to get rid of Cablevision, nobody, including yourself, Joan, you were at the meeting, came up here to complain. First, I have to apologize for coming out late from the work session. I know a lot of people, this is your first time at a council meeting. We usually aren't that late, but it's just that we had a wake to attend to tonight, so we started late, and there was just a lot of discussion to be in the back. So I do apologize to each and everyone who had to wait for an hour. With regards to redevelopment, you know, if nothing changes, then you know what, nothing changes. You go on Passaic Street, there's 3 empty stores. You got Manny's Pizza, who caught fire, I believe, over 50 years ago, and it's still there. Nothing's there. If you go on Passaic Street, you don't see a thriving Passaic Street like I used to see, you know, with Mays and Goldie's there. You don't see it. So not to do anything is wrong, definitely. But we have to, I haven't seen no plans. This is the first drawing I've seen too, Michael. I'm not sure if that's how it's going to look, but we haven't seen no plans. Tonight was the first time that a planner came up and spoke to us about what could or might go there. So I don't know where people are saying that, we're doing this, there's plans. Nothing like that has happened. And I've heard, that's what's going on. It still has to go to planning board meetings. Am I correct, Tom? It still has to go to redevelopment meetings. It's a long process. It's a very long process. So nothing is set in stone, but I'm willing to say right here, right now, that yes, I am for redevelopment. Definitely am for redevelopment. The city needs it. We had a cleanup this past Saturday where we had over 100 people from the city volunteer to come in and clean up all parts of our city. Over 100 people came. And the one remark I got was, some of the parts of the city are dirty. So to leave that go, to just pretend I didn't hear it, I can't. I'm sorry, but I have to realize that we need to step it up. And that's, hey, thank you to the 100 people who came out to help clean up the city. I appreciate it. We have a very big weekend coming. We have over 90 soccer teams coming for our soccer tournament. I'll let the mayor speak about that. He's the one pushing that. And we do have a lot of good things happening in the city. We have a lot of good things. And we invite everybody to be a part of it. Be a part of all our city functions, whether it be redevelopment, whether it be cleanups for the city, or whether it just be a soccer tournament that we're having. We invite everybody to come. With that, I'd like to wish my daughter, who's not here tonight, Councilwoman Erin Delaney, she turns 28 years old tomorrow. And there's not a prouder feeling for any father to have than having his 28-year-old daughter getting involved in city politics, who wants to give back to the city, who wants to do what they feel is the right thing. I love to see young people get involved. I love it. I listen to the young people, especially a woman to come up with ideas. Nothing better than that. With that, I'd like to wish you all a good night. Take care.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. Well, let's just talk about Cablevision first. We had it. It just seems to be, we keep circling the wagon over and over again about Cablevision. And now we got Files. Now you want Cablevision. We want Files. It's the same thing over and over again. And nothing's ever a dead issue. This is politics, and nothing's ever a dead issue. But it's dead right now. So we got Files, and we're going to live with Files, and we'll see where we're at maybe a month from now, maybe 2 months from now. No one knows what's going to change. But right now, it's ridiculous that we fight over this. Joan, go to the Board of Ed meeting. I go to the Board of Ed meetings. I never see you there. Go to the Board of Ed meetings and talk to the president. Don't stay up here. The only reason you come up here is because there's a camera. Go to the Board of Ed meetings. Go to the Board of... Hey, Frank, I didn't ask for comments. I didn't ask for comments. I didn't ask for any comments. That's my opinion.
That's shameful.
Frank, stay out of it, all right?
Shame on you.
All right? Shame on me.
She's a resident.
Hey, Frank,
She's a
I don't want to hear no
resident
more,
of the
Frank.
building.
Just stop talking for a couple of minutes.
I'm sorry.
You've been talking for 25 minutes. For the last 25 minutes, that's all you've been doing is talking.
Well, maybe
all right?
maybe you should
Frank,
listen.
just keep
Maybe
quiet
you
for
should
2 seconds.
Listen, Mayor.
No, I don't need to listen. I listen enough. I wish I was deaf when you talk, okay? Stay quiet for a couple of minutes.
The integrity of a taxpayer?
I just asked you to go to the Board of Ed. Go ahead, Frank.
Shame on
Goodbye.
you.
Take care. Take care.
That's ridiculous.
So,
Shame on you.
everything's
Shame
changing.
on
Oh, wait, it's not on Cablevision, Frank.
Shame on you.
So, Joan,
She's a
I listened to you, Frank. So, that being said, that being said, with the Passaic Street redevelopment, no one has seen plans at all. It hasn't gone to the zoning, I don't think it has gone to the zoning board at all. And this was the first time I heard this, about the 6 stories and, the 105 apartments. This was the first time he actually spoke. So this is all new to us, and there were no plans. And, everybody's gonna have questions. We have met numerous amount of times to discuss what goes on Passaic Street. there needs to be change. We all agree with that. There needs to be change on Passaic Street. Everybody's going to have an input, but we cannot be afraid of change on Passaic Street. Something needs to be done. There's a lot of empty stores on Passaic Street, and what's going on there cannot stay the same. We have to have a vision for the future, and we just need to move on. And hopefully, we'll come to a compromise. Something needs to be done. We all agree. I met with South Garfield 4 or 5 times downstairs in the church, and we had that discussion numerous amount of times. And we all agree change has to happen because you can't keep Passaic Street that way. And, for the planner coming up there discussing this is all new to us. I didn't go to the redevelopment meeting, so I have to assume he discussed this at the redevelopment meeting. I wasn't there. That's why everybody knew about the 6 stories or 7 stories and the 105. I wasn't there. Were you there? No. So that's why this is all news to me, and that's the first time I heard everything. But we do agree on that, and hopefully there could be a compromise. Just like, I'll go back to the cable. It's dead right now, but that doesn't mean Cablevision is going to be dead forever. There's always going to be something going on. So with that, this weekend, we do have a soccer tournament. 100 teams from up and down the East Coast will be up at Century Field, Spring Street. And there's going to be a cornhole contest with the fire department number 3. There's the dedication for the semi-pro champions, the Garfield Colored Giants at Century Field as well. And there's the Movies Under the Star on Friday. I think they're playing Shrek or Wreck-It Ralph. They're playing Wreck-It Ralph. Shrek is old. This weekend. So there's a lot going on this weekend. I'd like to say also that they planted shrubberies along Passaic Street, which is really updated that little area. So, thank you to the Garfield Community Police and the Garfield Coalition. And with that, everybody have a good evening. Meeting adjourned.
Motion.
I guess Louis seconds it.
Louis, you set?
There you go.